Hello, everybody, and welcome back. EE, Episode 3, Part 3. We are just going to load right on up and get back into the spot where we just were. Last time we went to a shrine, we almost robbed an old lady, and then a large-bosomed girl who has multiple golden accessories upon her has landed upon our chest. And let's see what's going on at the shrine. As the area refocuses into view, there's a girl with long, light blonde hair sitting on top of me. Her clothes are unlike anything I recognize, reminding me of a fantasy character. Her eyes are squeezed shut as she yelps. Carolyn Dawn, alright. Blinking, she looks around her, carefully taking in the shrine.
Where am I?
Suddenly she freezes. Her hands press down on my chest. She furrows her multiple brows, before her gaze meets my own. Oh, she's got those angry eyes, the two fangs of justice. She is not happy. In a flash, her eyes narrow in anger.
What do you think you're doing?
Close my eyes so she can't see me. I do like a girl who takes charge. She's on top of us and she's mad at us. We want some answers. I should be asking you that. What are you doing? She crosses her arms.
Who are you? What do you want with me?
Yo, those jiggle physics are insane. The sprites in this game, top notch. She glances down at herself again.
And why have you put me in such a compromising position?
She's on top of us and she's asking us this. What is her logic? You put yourself in that position.
I most certainly did not.
Okay, the way these things are bouncing, I don't know if I can keep doing this episode. Like, the physics are just insane. These milkers are just flowing in the wind. Her fists are clenched. We're just gonna keep going, but I am so distracted. There's nothing keeping you on top of me, and you haven't even attempted to move. This is what I'm saying, the way they move, man. She blinks, quickly untangling herself from me. Carefully, she gets back to her feet. Stifling a groan, I slowly get up as well. My back and head throb from the fall. Why did you fall on me? She balks.
The better question is, why did you summon me?
I don't even know who you are. She's the most moving sprite we've seen so far, that's to say the least. She holds her head up high, looking one hand on her hip.
You are in the presence of Princess Carolyn Dawn, Duchess of Velenor, third heiress of Velden.
That's a lot of words. I haven't heard of those places. I can do a long name too. Do all the crazies. I haven't heard of those places. Velden? Velenor? I haven't heard of any of those places. She frowns, looking around again.
Is this not a part of Velden?
Did we just summon a girl? Is this a reverse Isekai? Sign me up. I shake my head.
Then where am I?
You're in Japan.
Japan? I've been kidnapped by a Japanite commoner?
Japanese. But more importantly, this is not a kidnapping. Her eyes momentarily widen again before her scowl returns.
Then return me home at once.
I can't.
You must.
I don't know how you got here in the first place, and I definitely don't know how to get you back. She sighs.
Well, if you won't do it, then I'll have to do it myself. Now, where is my scepter?
Once again, she glances around herself, her eyes widen in panic.
My scepter! Where is it?
Maybe you left it back at the palace, Your Highness. Her eyes flash again.
It never leaves my side.
Jeez, I didn't realize the scepter was so important. I always thought of it as a symbol of power and not something used outside of ceremonies. After combing through the immediate vicinity, she ends up empty-handed.
Clearly my scepter is not here. Just use your cast to send me back.
Cast? Like a spell? What does that even mean? Besides, I still won't know... Oh, excuse me. I might need some water. I'm so flustered right now. Besides, I still wouldn't know back to where.
Were you not listening? I am Princess Erilyn Dawn, Duchess of Velenor, third heiress of...
Repeating it doesn't help if I have no idea what you're saying.
You cannot dismiss Veldin simply because of your ignorance.
She keeps mentioning Veldin as if it's real. Could she really be from an entirely different place? How was she transported here? Was it really my wish? I can't wrap my head around all of the questions I have. I don't know what's going on, but all of this weird stuff happened right after I talked to that old woman. We need to go find her.
Stop making excuses. There's no one here.
Is this one of those prank shows? Someone's going to jump out and be like, "Aha, we got you for making such a wild wish, asking for a princess."
So you did invoke black arts to transport me here. I knew it! A Japanite kidnapper after all.
I'm not a kidnapper, and I didn't do black magic. I didn't think my wish would actually come true. She crosses her arms, and her breasts continue to bounce in the wind.
It's clearly your fault I've been summoned here, which means it's your responsibility to get me back home.
Oh, we gotta take responsibility, fellas. She said it. Okay, I'll just do what I did before.
Finally.
Here we go. I wish you would return home. Nothing happens. Well, I tried.
That's it? Do it properly like you did the first time.
I don't even know what happened the first time.
Just try.
Fine. I close my eyes and think with all of my might. Beads of sweat line my brow, but nothing happens. I open my eyes and frown. Erilyn crosses her arms, concerned look on her face.
You didn't do this intentionally? You really don't know what happened?
I nod.
Well, then I suppose I can navigate.
She looks around her, but seems lost. Her confident expression wavers for a moment, and I catch a look of fear and uncertainty in her eyes. Everything must seem so unfamiliar to her. I do feel responsible, help a girl in need. Feeling sorry won't help. That's a really mean thing to do. It is kind of... I feel responsible. We'll be nice for this time. I do feel some responsibility for her well-being. The coincidence between my wish and her appearance is too close to be unrelated. Until we can find out more, I should help her out. I'll help you until we can find a way to get back. You can stay with me and my family while we figure this out. Imagine bringing home like an actual princess to your house. Like, yeah, can she stay with us? That's insane. I wish, man. I wish. She hesitates. Don't worry. My aunt, uncle, and cousin will understand. I don't think they will. Finally, she nods.
I suppose that will do. There is no alternative option present.
The sky is already dark by the time we set off down the path towards home. So much for taking a shortcut. Since we'll be together for at least a day, you can call me Markapi.
You may address me as Princess Erilyn Dawn, Duchess of Velenor, third heiress of Veldin.
Refreshing. Take a water break, everyone. I'm going to stick to Erilyn.
You dare not even address me by my title of princess?
Yeah, about that. There are a few things we need to go over. The first thing is that you can't go around declaring yourself a princess.
I can't help my birthright.
Yeah, but people will think you're crazy.
Do Japanites not know what a princess is?
Japanese. And of course we do.
Then I fail to see the problem.
The problem is we already have princesses from Japan.
So, I'm not claiming to be from Japan.
I sigh. On second thought, I'll do all the talking. She shoots me a look and resumes her arrogant expression.
Perhaps that's best. Clearly there is a communication barrier between royalty and commoners.
Why was I helping her again? Well, let's just get going before it gets too dark. Wow, what a shrine visit that was. We fall silent as I lead us home. Erilyn continually surveys our surroundings, her expression softening into curiosity. As we near the house, my steps start to slow. what am I going to tell my family? I need to come up with a story for why Erilyn needs to stay with us. Yeah, this would be a hard sell for me. I don't see this going well. I'll have to tell everyone she's a foreigner since there's no way she can pass for Japanese. Maybe she's a new foreign exchange student. Although, that wouldn't explain why she has to live in our home. Thinking hard, I have a vague memory of an international student from a few years ago who stayed in our neighbor's house. It was a program to help them become immersed in the culture. The homestay program. That'll do. Feeling more confident about the situation, I pause in front of the door and turn to Erilyn. Remember, don't say anything. Let me do the talking. I don't give her a chance to reply before opening the door and entering the house. A nice little background here. Aunt Miko, Uncle Hajime, we'll go with that, and Mina are together in the living room. Upon my entry, Mina is the first one to greet me.
Finally! Weren't you just hanging out with Kosei? What took you so long?
I picked up a large breast princess. Sorry, I just came back from the, airport. Just look at that. Like, how do you explain this? Mina freezes when she notices Erilyn.
Is that a girl?
It's a trap.
Mother? Father? You see this, right? I'm not going crazy.
Aunt Miko and Uncle Hajime look over curiously.
No, sweetie. We see her too.
Mina squints.
Okay, good. I thought I was going crazy because not only is there a pretty girl here, but those clothes are really unique.
This attire happens to be my...
Cosplay outfit. It's a good enough excuse as any. Erilyn stares blankly at me. I motion for her to just go along with it.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's very gullible. Mina takes another look, clearly impressed.
Did she make that outfit herself? The level of detail and craftsmanship is impressive. The material looks so high quality too.
Erilyn grins, smoothing out her dress.
How very kind of you to notice. It was woven from the finest silks by the palace seamstresses.
Palace?
Yeah, her cosplay character is a princess. She's very dedicated. Uncle Hajime clears his throat.
Ah, how lovely. Does your friend have a name?
I have a feeling her uncle wants to, be involved with the princess. He's just giving me that vibe. I think that's the first time he talked. Erilyn opens her mouth, but I interrupt before she can speak. This is Erilyn. She glares at me, which I ignore. She's a part of the homestay program and just arrived. Mina furrows her brow.
You mean that program our neighbors did? Isn't she supposed to be staying with them?
No, she'll be staying with us. Dad signed us up for the program before school started. Didn't he tell you?
No.
Aunt Miko looks towards Uncle Hajime, who shakes his head.
I didn't hear about this either.
I tried to play it off as no big deal, even though I'm sure they can hear the hammering in my chest. He must have forgotten to tell you. You know how they are, always forgetting things. Remember that time Dad almost left without his luggage? Uncle Hajime chuckles.
That definitely sounds like your father. The amount of time he's lost his keys.
Aunt Miko nods.
It's because they're on the road so often. Having to keep track of everything can be tough.
Yeah, we just completely forgot to mention a foreigner's coming to stay with us. Oh man, it seems like things are going well so far. So, Erilyn can stay, right?
Yes, of course.
How did that work? She turns towards Erilyn and offers her a warm smile.
Welcome to our home.
Erilyn is such a unique name. Where are you from?
I am from Velden.
Velden?
Sweden is what I think she meant to say. Thick accent, haha. Haha.
Oh, of course. I'm sure Erilyn must be tired after such a long flight. Why don't we show her to the spare bedroom so she can rest?
Yes, we'll have plenty of time for questions later.
Great, I'll show her to her room. Erilyn nods to my family before following me upstairs. We go down the hall and I lead her into the guest room. I gently shut the door while she inspects the room. This is where you'll be staying.
Where's the rest of it?
This is it. She looks around again.
Well, Well, at least it's clean.
That's probably the closest to a compliment she can give. She steps over to the bed and delicately hops on. A thoughtful expression crosses her face as she tries out a few experimental bounces. See, once you mess up one word, you're just more likely to mess up the others. I'll let you get some rest, and we can revisit what to do in the morning. But before I go, I want to make sure you understand that while you're stuck here with me, you're Erlin, the international student from Sweden. Got it? She frowns.
You want me to pretend to be a commoner?
Low profile, be a better ruler. If you don't like it, you can leave. That's kind of mean. We'll lie to her. Think of it as an opportunity to explore how the other half lives. Erlin wrinkles her nose.
And why would I do that?
As a princess, your subjects are all commoners, aren't they?
Naturally.
How can you be a well-liked, respected, and effective ruler if you don't understand their struggles?
My subjects already respect me.
Why?
Because...
Her voice trails off. I grin. Just think of your popularity if you can actually connect with them. Show them you understand and are there for your people. Whoa. Let me review this sentence with my English here. Show them you understand and are there for your people. I don't know why I jumbled over that so much. Moving on. She pauses, mulling over my words.
I suppose a learning opportunity couldn't hurt.
I nod. That should help make things easier. Erlin glances expectantly at me.
That will be all then.
Right. I leave her room and return to mine, stifling a yawn. It has been a very long evening, and all I want to do right now is sleep. I rehearse how to explain Erlin's presence, then get my things in order for school tomorrow. Afterwards, I get ready for bed. I just flop on her bed. With a grateful sigh, I fall into my bed, wrapping the blankets around me, and doze off into a blissful sleep. I gotta say, the sound effects in this game are pretty good. That new day transition music, I like it. Every new day, take a sip of water. Da da da. Okay, I just said the effects were good. I thought that was an actual knock on my door. I'm losing it, fellas. Schizo's kicking in. A sharp knock on my door jerks me out of my sleep. What? It's freaking me out, man. They're coming for me. There's a pause before another flurry of knocks erupt. What time is it? Who's being so loud this early in the morning? I flip off my blankets and head for the door. It must be Mina. She's always waking me up. Although she doesn't normally knock and will just barge right in. At least she's finally learned how to be civilized. And you should never barge into a teenage boy's room. Trust me. When I pull open the door, Erlin stands face to face with me. Her head is held high as she looks at me, her arms crossed.
Finally.
She's only gonna have this one dress, isn't she? Shouldn't she get some normal clothes? What are you doing? Don't you know what time it is?
Yes, it's 8 a.m., which is preposterously late.
I crane my neck and confirm with my clock. Oh crap, I've got to get ready for school. I'm about to shut the door on her when she stops me.
Wait, I have something important to ask you.
Oh, it's happening, fellas, this is it. What is it?
Where is my breakfast?
It's not it, fellas. Did she get downstairs? When am I your servant? We're gonna close the door. I stare at her. Seriously, this is what she woke me up for. I close the door again. A flurry of knocks return. With a sigh, I open the door back up. What?
You might want to get your door looked at. It just closed on its own.
No, that was me closing it.
I'm sure that's not the case because that would be incredibly rude, but I'm just too famished to argue.
I sigh again. Looks like I can't avoid this. Just wait a few minutes for me to get dressed and then we can find food. Erlin grudgingly agrees and allows me to close the door for privacy. I get ready in a hurry before meeting her by the stairs. Together, we head downstairs and I lead her into the kitchen. Sitting on the table are a stack of Aunt Miko's Tamago Sando. I had no clue what that is. I turn to Erilyn, pointing at the sandwiches. Breakfast is served. She side-eyes it suspiciously.
What is it?
They're egg salad sandwiches with ham and lettuce. I grab one and bite into it. Bread is soft and fluffy and pairs perfectly with the savory eggs and salty ham. Try one. They're good. Erilyn doesn't move.
Maybe this is good enough for your kind of people, but it certainly isn't food fit for a princess. Don't you have a dish that's more refined?
I take a too big, exaggerated bite out of the sandwich. Erilyn wrinkles her nose. Nope. My kind of people only have this sort of unrefined food.
I don't think this will sit well with me.
Her stomach rumbling begs to differ. Erilyn freezes, then resumes her haughty expression.
But I suppose I can make an exception just this once.
She reaches for a sandwich and takes a dainty nibble. Her eyes grow wide and she takes another larger bite. How is it? Erilyn looks away from me and back down at the sandwich. For some reason, her cheeks are red.
I wouldn't normally choose it, but I don't really have a choice now, do I?
She takes another bite, this one even bigger than the last. You don't have to eat it, you're a bad liar. Erilyn tries to hide how much she likes the sandwich, but it's obvious she's enjoying it. She's already finished half of it in just a few minutes. And yet you're almost done with it. Erilyn glances down at her hands and seems surprised by how much of the sandwich is left. Her blush deepens.
I was just hungry.
Uh-huh. Mina enters the kitchen just as we're finishing up. She's already dressed in her uniform and just as energetic as ever. As Kevin Hart is online. No big deal, but I am friends with Kevin Hart, the Kevin Hart, on Steam, so just thought I'd let you guys know. As soon as she sees me, she skids to a stop.
Do my eyes deceive me? For once, is my cousin ready for school before I am?
I can be self-sufficient too when I want to be. Mina raises a brow.
I bet Erilyn woke you up this morning, didn't she?
How does she know? Mina glances over at Erilyn and frowns.
Erilyn, you should change into your uniform. We'll have to go soon if you don't want to be late for school.
Whoops. I forgot I told everyone Erin is an international student, which means she would theoretically be going to school with us. Erilyn's brows knit in confusion. Erilyn's brows knit in confusion. She looks like she's about to retort, but I can't let her blurt out something contradictory. I have to think of something fast. Actually, there was an issue with her transfer paperwork. She'll be at school later today after all that's fixed. In the meantime, she'll stay here. Right, Erilyn? I stare hard at her. She meets my gaze and then nods.
Okay, do you need any help?
She's fine. We need to get going before we're late. I usher Mina towards the door.
Okay, jeez. When did you start caring so much about school?
What do you mean? I've always cared. It's not good to be late. Regardless, I get Mina out the door just before I leave. I turn back to Erilyn. Don't leave the house. We'll figure something out when I'm back from school. She crosses her arms but nods. I catch up with Mina and we walk in silence for a bit. I don't know what to do about Erilyn. I've got to find a way to get her back to her home, wherever that is. And how did she even end up here? Couldn't really have been my wish, could it? No. I've made wishes at the shrine every year, and nothing like this has ever happened before. It has to do with that old woman. My first step is to find her and get her to explain all of this. I'm so caught up in my thoughts that I didn't notice Mina slide up until she's right next to me.
So, what's the deal with you and this homestay program?
Huh?
You never seemed interested in it before. Why did you and your dad decide to sign up for this?
Ooh, 4 choices. Wanted to broaden my horizons so I could live with a girl. As they don't know. It was my dad's idea. It seems the easiest just to shove the blame to him. The default thing to do is blame your parents for everything. It was my dad's idea, actually. Mina blinks.
Really? I didn't know he paid attention to that stuff.
Oh yeah, he said it'd be a good learning experience.
Learning what?
I really wish I thought this through now. About different cultures. Since he travels a lot, he's... Oh, sorry. Water break time. Too many mess ups. Water break. Since he travels a lot, he's more in tune with that sort of stuff. Ooh, I can't believe we got through that sentence. It only took us about 3 tries. You can learn a lot about the world just by interacting with others. Mina looks thoughtful.
That's a good point. It does sound like something your dad would say. Still, it's a little strange that your parents didn't tell my parents, you know?
You know how forgetful they can be. They're traveling so much that it's hard for them to keep straight what they did and didn't discuss.
I guess. But this is kind of a big deal, don't you think?
There's no point dwelling on it now. You guys aren't upset, are you? Mina shakes her head.
Of course not. It's your home too. Honestly, I'm actually really excited to get to know Erilyn. It's gonna be really cool having another girl in the house. And you know how Mom and Dad are. They're probably happy to have another taste tester for Dad's experimental bread flavors.
Yeah, he comes up with some really strange combinations sometimes. Mina laughs.
I think the word you're looking for is creative.
I grin back at her. I'm really thankful to have such an understanding family, and I don't want to burden them any more than I already have. It's important that I find out how to send Erilyn back home. Realizing the time, Mina and I pick up the pace. I was pausing to look at my clock to see how long we've been going. We're getting a little longer episode. There are still a lot of students milling about when we enter the courtyard. Many are chatting with their friends or finishing up any homework they didn't do. I don't spot Kosei anywhere though. There's an equally good chance that he's either already in the classroom or even later than we are. Mina and I head up the front steps and open the heavy door, entering the school. The hallways are emptier than I expected. It's a much nicer pace than yesterday, and we soon reach the end of the hall. Back in the cyberpunk classroom, we arrive in class before the instructor. Kosei is already in his seat and waves us over. Man, towards the end of the episode, man, it gets a little wily.
Hey guys! What's with the slow start today? I had to go on ahead without you.
For once, it wasn't me who was the holdup. Mina scoffs.
I was only later than you because I wasted time looking for you. Who would have guessed you'd already be downstairs?
So you're saying that's a bad thing I was on time?
No, you should be able to wake up on your own.
So then you are admitting that it's your fault we were late.
No, it's still your fault.
You can't have it both ways. I shoot Kosei an exasperated look. He shrugs. Miss Sato enters the classroom, quieting everyone with a greeting. She instructs us to open our textbooks and begins the morning lesson. About halfway through the lesson, the classroom door cracks open. The instructor pauses while a new student walks in. Well, we can only imagine what this is going to be. She hands Miss Sato a letter. Although she's dressed in our school uniform, I distinctly recognize that pale blonde hair. And this will be the moment that we pause, reflect, and end the episode as Erilyn is joining the class. You know, the school uniform looks good, I would say. I think it's alright. Yeah, it's alright. Okay, we're going to end that one here. Thanks for watching this far. Might do a little longer episode in the future, moving ahead. So, with all that being said, do me 4 favors. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, help me find a girlfriend. And bye-bye.